Hi, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Chart Engineering Pro. We really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and we do not take you for granted at all. If you haven't yet subscribed or you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content we post here. And if you also find value with what we share here, drop your comments, share your views, and be sure to like as well. And share this video to your fellow traders or anyone who would find this information useful. We'll also drop a link to the free Telegram group where we share updates of these setups as the week unfolds. And we'll also tackle the recap of the previous week at the end of this video. So stay tuned. Let's quickly dive into the economic calendar for the coming week. So for next week, we have no high impact news on Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to have the policy rate for the Japanese yen and on the monetary policy statement for the Japanese yen. And we're also going to have the AUD cash rates and RBA rates statement, which is very high impact. It's a very high impact news. So you just have to pay attention to that if you're holding any position that has AUD. And also on Wednesday, we're going to have the CPI for GBP and also FOMC on Wednesday. We're also going to have the NZDGDP data that night, and also we're going to have the claimant count change on Thursday. We're going to have the monetary policy assessment and policy rate for the Swiss National Bank, which is for CHF. It's also a very high impact news. So if you're holding any CHF per position, you need to take some caution with that. And also we're going to have the monetary policy statement summary for the GBP, and also we're going to have a bank holiday for the Chinese yuan. And Friday we're also going to have a bank holiday for USD. So let's see what we have for the coming week on the charts. This is DXY. So last week we were anticipating that price was going to pull back into this area of interest to give us some buying opportunities to the upside. We got this pullback, but then I think price might pull back a bit deeper into the zone before we can see some reactions to the upside. So going into next week, we are either going to see a deeper pullback into this zone before we see the move up, or we would see price can also pull back all the way to this second zone below and give us some reactions to the upside. Should price break below this zone to the downside, then we know we are moving bearish. Until then, we are still having a bullish sentiment for DXY for the coming week. So this is EURUSD. Just as we are looking out for on DXY, we are expecting a deeper pullback into the area of interest. So we are hoping or expecting that price will pull back a bit deeper into this zone and give us some reactions from here to the downside. So these are the various targets we have for EURUSD for the coming week to the downside. So we are expecting a deeper pullback and wait for a reaction or a bearish confirmation, then we take ourselves to the downside for EURUSD. This is GBPUSD. So we got a pullback. This pullback, I would say, moved a bit faster than DXY, and we got an entry on this. We got an entry around here after this engulfing candle, but then we later got a big spike after some tweets concerning the peace deal, and then we saw this huge momentum coming in as well. So we are hoping that price can just continue to move from here. But then, since we are looking out for a deeper pullback for DXY, we might likely see this position taken out. So price might possibly pull back a bit deeper into any of these two zones before we see the reaction, the bearish reaction we are looking out for. So we are currently in this position, and if DXY should pull back a bit deeper, we might likely be taken out of this position before we would see the real move to the downside. So we just have to be patient to see how it plays out. So these are the various targets we have for These are the various targets we have for GU. So if we are to look at the bearish side of things, these are the targets we're going to look at. So this is USDCAD. So for USDCAD, we identified this potential harmonic pattern last week, and we had this nice inverse head and shoulder formation right here. So right now, what we're looking out for is a possible pullback to retest the neckline of this inverse head and shoulder formation, and look for buying opportunities from here to the upside. Should price pull back a bit deeper, we can still look out for the buys from this zone as well to the upside. And these are the various targets we have for this potential buy move on USDCAD. This is USDCHF. So last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back to this very first area of interest we have here. Price didn't get there. So looking at how we are looking forward to a possible deeper pullback for DXY, we might likely see this this move retesting the area we were expecting it to retest last week before the movement to the upside. So if you can see clearly, this is a nice inverse head and shoulder formation, and we are expecting a retest of the neckline of the inverse head and shoulder. Then we can see our momentum to the upside. This is the head, this is the right shoulder. So we are looking forward to the pullback to retest the neckline we have here, and then we see the move to the upside. So that's what we are looking out for CHF, USDCHF, sorry. And these are the targets we have above. This is NZDUSD. So NZDUSD, we had this nice double top reaction from this strong area of interest, and we were anticipating a pullback or a retest of the neckline of this double top. Price retested and gave us some rejections, but looking at how DXY might give us a deeper pullback, we actually took this position. So we are also in this position as well, just as we are on GU. Should DXY give us a deeper pullback, this position might be taken out. So we can get a deeper pullback, so we can get a deeper pullback into this area of interest. Then we can get a cleaner move to the downside. So this move, should DXY pull back deeper downside, we might see this move taken out before we get a proper retest of the neckline we have here before the actual move to the downside. But we are still going to maintain these targets even if this position gets taken out and we get another selling opportunity around here. We will look out for these same targets we have here. This is USDJPY. So USDJPY, we had this potential butterfly pattern identified, and we're looking forward to see price retest this area of interest before we see a buy momentum. Price tapped into it a little slightly, and then we saw a slight reaction from there. So going into next week, we are expecting a deeper pullback into this area of interest, and we'll look for buying opportunities to the upside. Should price pull back to the second zone below, we'll still be interested in taking the buys from the second zone as well to the upside for USDJPY. This is CADJPY. So for CADJPY, we actually took some positions on the JPY first. We took an EURGBP and GBPCHF trade, and so we're waiting to get an entry on CADJPY, but CADJPY didn't present us with an entry, and it just kept moving downwards. So we missed this whole move. We were waiting for a clear reversal or selling opportunity around here before we take the sell, but then price just moved without giving us any confirmation. So going into next week, all we are looking out for is a possible pullback into this area of interest, and we look for we look for selling opportunities from there. So we are looking for it to see price to pull back into this area of interest again, and then we look for selling opportunities from here to the downside. So we are still very bearish on CADJPY, and these are the various targets we have for CADJPY. This is GBPCHF, and GBPCHF is now extremely bullish. Going into next week, we are going to look for a possible pullback into this very first area of interest. Look for buying opportunities from here, move to the upside. Should price pull back to the second zone below, we'll still be interested in taking the buys from there to the upside. So we are very bullish on GBPCHF. Should this zone get violated, look for selling opportunities from here to the downside. So until then, we are very bullish on GBPCHF for the coming week. This is EURCHF. So last week we were anticipating a possible pullback into this neckline or this zone to give us a buying opportunity to the upside. We never got that pullback. So going into the next week, all we are waiting for is to see a pullback into this area of interest we have here. this very first area of interest. Then we look for buying opportunities from there. If that zone does not hold and we still find our way to retest this neckline or this zone, we'll still be interested in taking the buys from here as well to the upside. So these are the various targets we have for EURCHF for the coming week. This is CADCHF. So for CADCHF, we had two scenarios last week where we were anticipating that price was going to pull back first to retest this neckline of this inverse head and shoulder to give us a buy momentum, and after giving us a weekly structural shift here, we'll come for a pullback and then continue to the upside. Price actually just went up and then came back to retest the neckline of the inverse head and shoulder we have here. So this is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is the right shoulder, and so we are going to be patient to see how price develops here. If we get any reversal patterns here or any bullish confirmations within this zone, we will be glad to take the buys from here to the upside. If we don't get the confirmation and price is able to find its way to buy all the way up, then we are going to also have a bigger inverse head and shoulder, which is also forming. So this is the smaller one. This is the smaller inverse head and shoulder, which is literally forming the head of the bigger head and shoulder. This is the smaller head and shoulder, as you can see here, and this is the bigger one. Should price give us that move to the upside, so this will be the left shoulder, this will be the head, and this will be the possible right shoulder, which has given us the move to the which is possibly forming the right shoulder here. So we are looking forward to see price to buy to the upside, then we confirm this huge inverse head and shoulder we are looking out for. So we'll be patient to see how price presents itself in this area of interest before we take our buys to the upside on CADCHF. And these are the various targets we have for CADCHF to the upside. These are the various targets we have for CADCHF. This is GBPCAD, and so for GBPCAD, I think some weeks ago we identified this potential inverse head and shoulder which is forming. So this is the move right here. We have price reacting from a strong area or weekly area, I think monthly area of interest right here, and it's giving us a possible inverse head and shoulder formation. So this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and this is the right shoulder. This is the right shoulder. So all we are waiting for is to see price retest this neckline, and for buying opportunities, we take our buys to the upside. Should price find its way to pull back all the way to the second zone below, we'll still be interested in taking some buys from here to the upside. Until then, until we break this zone to the downside, we are extremely bullish on GBPCAD for the coming week. This is NZDCAD. So for NZDCAD, we're also reacting from a nice area of interest. So what we are looking out for is we are waiting for this 4-hour structure shift. We are looking for this 4-hour structure shift here, and we look for a possible pullback, which will give us a possible higher low formation, and we look for our buying opportunities to the upside. So we are also very bullish on NZDCAD for the coming weekend. These are the various targets we have for NZDCAD on the upside. This is EURGBP. So EURGBP, for a very long time, we are still waiting to see this huge head and shoulder formation play out. So we are still playing around the neckline. So going into next week, all we are looking forward to is a pullback into the zone again. We're waiting for a pullback right into this area of interest again. Only for selling opportunities from here to the downside. Should price pull back a bit higher to the second zone above again, we can still look out for selling opportunities from here to the downside. So these are the various targets we have for EURGBP ahead of this potential head and shoulder formation. Gold. This is gold. So for gold, going into next week, what we are looking out for is a possible pullback into this area of interest right here. We are looking for a possible pullback into this very first area of interest. We look for selling opportunities from here to the downside. Should price pull back a bit higher to the second zone above, we'll still be interested in taking the sales from there as well to the downside. If we are able to buy and price is able to break through these areas of interest and clear these highs, then we know that we have shifted bullish on gold. For now, we are bearish. So all we are waiting for is a possible retest first. We look for selling confirmations and we'll take our sales to the downside for gold. This is silver. Silver We're also looking out for a possible pullback into this area of interest, this first area of interest. First area of interest, look for selling opportunities to the downside. Should price pull back to the second zone above, we'll still be interested in taking our sales from there to the downside for silver. So we're also very bearish on silver now. This is Brent crude oil, and we have been expecting this downside move to this $75 per barrel to $66 per barrel area or region, and price is still giving us some nice momentum to the downside. So all we are looking out for next week is a possible pullback into this this area of interest. We look for selling opportunities from here to this zone, and this will continue to be our first target, and our second target will be this zone we have here. We are already in a position on WTI or US oil, so we'll look at that at the end of this video. Sorry. This is UK 100 or FTSE 100. So this is forming a potential harmonic pattern, which is a Gadley pattern, and this is the pattern that is likely going to play out. This is the X, this is the A, this is the B, this is the C leg, and we are looking forward to the D leg to buy all the way to the upside. So all we are looking forward to is a possible pullback into this very first area of interest. We look for buying opportunities from here to the upside. Should it pull back a bit deeper into this zone below, we'll still be interested in taking the buys from there as well to the downside. But then if price is able to violate or break this zone or clear these lows we have here, then we know we have shifted bearish. So this is HK50, the Hong Kong 50 index, and this index is also forming a head and shoulder formation. It's giving us a head and shoulder formation. So this is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is the right shoulder. So all we are looking for is a retest of the neckline. Price has made its way there, and we are likely going to see some reaction in this very first zone. If we don't get a reactions from here and price still pulls back to the second zone above, we will still be interested in looking for the selling opportunities from there to the downside, and these will be our targets for this downside move for HK50. This is BTC of Bitcoin, and so we are in this position. We almost hit our TP, and then price just started reversing. So the next area of interest we are looking for to add more selling positions is this very area of interest we have here. So we are just going to wait for price to pull back into this area of interest to give us more selling opportunities to take ourselves to the downside to the 46k region, or 46k to 58k region. And as we know from the previous episodes of videos, our worst case scenario for BTC is going to be 35k. So we are going to wait for the pullback into this area of interest. We look for sales. We take it to the downside to this area we have here. So now let's look at the recap. Last week's recap. So we took this position on the WTI crude. We took this entry around here for the WTI crude, and so we are currently in this position, and we are holding until $70 per barrel region. This is our first. This will be our TP1, and our second TP will be this zone we have below between $70 to $61 per barrel for the WTI crude. And we also caught this position on AUD NZD. So we are currently in this position as well. Caught the sell position on AUD NZD. We are still holding on to this position. So going into next week, if we are able to get a clean break below this structure point, we'll wait for another pullback or another sell opportunity to add more sales to the downside for AUD NZD for the coming week. We also have here EURGBP. So we took this position on EURGBP. We anticipated a possible pullback into the area of interest to get selling opportunities. So we got a selling opportunity, and as you can see, price is giving us some rejection candles, but I don't like the fact that they are giving us bullish. They are looking a bit bullish with the rejection candles. So we got our entry, I think somewhere here, and then price moved into profit, and all of a sudden pulled back into our entry area. So we are currently in a drawdown on this position, and which we are still going to hold on to, and possibly by Tuesday, if the policy rate for the JPY is released, it might likely give us the momentum we are looking forward to the downside. So we are still holding on to this position on EURGBP. So we took this position also. No, this, yeah, yeah. So we took this sell also on GBPJPY. We are also currently in this position, and we are still waiting to see the momentum kicking to the downside. So we are holding on to this position, but it's currently in a drawdown. It's actually moved into profits, well, after we entered, and now it's moved back into our entry area. So we are currently in a drawdown on this position, but we are still going to hold on to it tight and see how it goes. So we had this GU position from 2 weeks ago, and we are still holding on to it. We are still expecting to see the momentum kick down to the downside. So we are still holding on to this GU position, this very first GU position we took 2 weeks ago. And then the last one, we took this sell position, and we got taken out during the week. We got this sell, took this sell around here on natural gas. We took this sell here, it went into profit, reversed, took us out, and now came back into our profit area to hit our TP1. So this was a loss on natural gas. Thank you so much for sticking through to the end of this video. Really appreciate you for your time, and I would like to encourage all of us to apply proper risk management to our trades, to trade safe and sound. And I wish all of us a profitable week ahead of us. So let's take good care of ourselves, and we'll catch ourselves on another episode. Thank you, and bye bye.